The woman I was about to marry didn't just humiliate me. She showed me how little I mattered. My name's Michael. I'm 30 years old, and until recently, I thought I had everything figured out. I've always been the type to take things slow. Career, relationships, even friendships, I don't trust easily, but when I do, I go all in. That's how it was with Jennifer. She's 28, smart, outgoing, beautiful in the way that turns heads without even trying. We met through mutual friends at a friend's engagement party 6 years ago, and by the end of the night, I knew she'd be someone important in my life. Jennifer, and I couldn't have been more different, but it worked. She was the extrovert to my introvert, the talker to my thinker, the fire to my steady calm. Where I found peace in quiet routines and meaningful conversations, she thrived on energy, people, movement. Somehow, we complemented each other. In the beginning, we couldn't get enough of each other. Late-night calls, spontaneous road trips, inside jokes that no one else understood. It was everything people say love should feel like. 3 years in, we moved in together. I had just landed a stable job in IT, and Jennifer was building her reputation in PR. She was always working events, managing client socials, attending parties. I supported her through it all, even when her schedule started to dominate her life. And, by extension, mine. I cooked dinner more often. I handled errands. I was okay being the quiet one in the background because I believed in her. I believed in us. Still, over time, little cracks started to show. She became less present, not just physically, but emotionally. She started coming home later, always exhausted. The affection faded gradually, not overnight, but in small ways. You only notice when you look back. Fewer kisses, shorter conversations, always distracted. I chalked it up to stress. I thought, this is just a rough patch. Every couple has one. When we got engaged last year, I saw it as a turning point. She cried when I proposed, told me I was her rock, her future. It felt real. It felt right. I thought we were back on track. We picked a date, found a venue, and dove head first into planning the wedding. But in the months leading up to it, I noticed she seemed more excited about the event than the marriage. She micromanaged the details of the wedding but barely asked about our future. I tried not to overanalyze. I loved her. I trusted her. I figured once the stress of planning was over, we'd find our rhythm again. I didn't know that her idea of fun with friends included laughing at the man she was about to marry. The night of Jennifer's bachelorette party was supposed to be a simple night for me. I ordered takeout, planned to play some video games, and figured I'd give her space to celebrate with her friends. No drama, no overthinking. That was always my approach. Give her freedom, trust her, and not be the kind of guy who checks up every 5 minutes. But something felt wrong. I can't explain it. It wasn't a specific moment or message. It was just this gut feeling I couldn't shake. She'd been distant all week, more than usual. Quick to put her phone down when I walked in, brushing off any attempts to connect. When I asked how she felt about the wedding, she just nodded and said, "It'll be fine," like she was talking about a dentist appointment. Still, I wasn't planning to crash her night. I just wanted to drop off the custom wine she had forgotten at home, one she'd been obsessing over for weeks. I figured I'd hand it off and leave without even going inside. Her best friend Cassie had texted her the address of the Airbnb they'd rented. I pulled up around 9 p.m. and her car was parked out front. The house lights were on, music was playing, and through the curtains I could see silhouettes dancing, drinks in hand. Normal bachelorette stuff. I knocked once, then walked in. What I saw stopped me cold. The living room was full of balloons, decorations, and a huge sign that read, "One last night of freedom." Her friends were dressed in matching black outfits, while Jennifer stood in the center wearing white. They were holding champagne glasses and laughing until they saw me. The room fell quiet. Jennifer's expression flipped from carefree to panicked in a second. "Mike, what are you doing here?" she asked, trying to keep her voice steady. I came to drop this off, I said, holding up the wine bottle. You forgot it. Cassie tried to laugh. This is kind of a no boys allowed situation. I wasn't offended, but something in their tone made me pause. Then I saw it. The shirts some of them were wearing. It was subtle, almost hidden under their jackets, but I caught the words printed across the front. Bride's final mistake. Another one said, just settling. I thought maybe I was misreading, but then I heard someone say, under her breath. He actually showed up, followed by a snort of laughter. Jennifer turned to them quickly. Guys, not now. What's going on? I asked quietly. Cassie raised her glass. Relax, Mike, it's just jokes. You're the safe guy, the stable guy. That's a good thing, right? My stomach dropped. I looked at Jennifer. She wasn't denying it. She looked guilty, caught, but not surprised. She didn't say a word. And that silence told me everything I needed to know. Didn't know what to say. I stood there, frozen, staring at Jennifer, trying to process what was happening. The words from Cassie echoed in my mind. The safe guy. The stable guy. What the hell did that mean? Was that how Jennifer really saw me? As a fallback, a security blanket, someone she'd settle for when everything else didn't work out? I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. My palms were clammy and I was struggling to keep it together. I wasn't angry yet, but I could feel the rage building, like a slow burn that was threatening to explode. The room was silent except for the faint sound of laughter still echoing in my ears from earlier. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run out of there and never look back. But I didn't. I couldn't. I just looked at Jennifer. She avoided my gaze, her eyes darting between me and her friends. I could see the tension in her shoulders, the way she was trying to play it off like it was nothing, like it was all just a joke. But I wasn't laughing. I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. So, this is what you've been hiding from me? I asked, my voice coming out steadier than I expected. But my eyes burned, and I could feel the knot in my throat tightening. Jennifer shook her head quickly. Mike, no, it's not like that. Then what is it like, Jennifer? I interrupted, my voice rising just a little. Because I'm pretty sure I just walked into a room full of people who think I'm some kind of joke. You, too, apparently. So tell me, what exactly have I been to you all this time? I could feel everyone's eyes on me, the awkwardness of the situation hanging in the air like a thick fog. Jennifer's friends shifted uncomfortably, but none of them spoke. It was as if they knew they'd crossed a line, but none of them wanted to be the one to back down. Jennifer took a step toward me, her face flushed with embarrassment. Mike, please, it was just a joke. I cut her off, my voice cold now, detached. It's funny, isn't it, that after everything we've been through, after 6 years together, you think I'm just some safe guy? Is that all I am to you? She opened her mouth to respond, but I could see the words were stuck in her throat. She knew she had nothing to say that would make this better. I could see it in her eyes, the realization that she had messed up beyond repair. I shook my head. I don't need to hear your excuses, Jennifer. I really don't. I think I've seen enough. Without waiting for a response, I turned around and walked toward the door. I didn't care if anyone said anything. I didn't care if Jennifer tried to stop me. The only thing I could focus on was getting out of there. The room felt suffocating, like the walls were closing in on me, and I just needed to breathe. I slammed the door behind me as I left, not looking back. I didn't go home that night. I checked into a cheap hotel on the edge of town, turned off my phone, and lay awake staring at the ceiling. It wasn't just the betrayal, it was the humiliation. I'd spent 6 years building a life with Jennifer, trusting her, supporting her through every up and down. And in the end, I was nothing more than a punchline at her bachelorette party. The next morning, I turned my phone back on. Predictably, it lit up with texts and missed calls. Most were from Jennifer, a few from mutual friends, a couple from Cassie, which I didn't even bother to open. The messages were exactly what you'd expect. It wasn't serious. They were just jokes. She didn't mean it. Come talk to her. I didn't respond to any of them. Instead, I forwarded a short message to Jennifer. The wedding is off. I'll send someone to get my things. That's it. No emotion, no explanation. If she didn't know why, then she never really knew me to begin with. By that afternoon, the story had spread. Her mum called me, crying, asking if I could reconsider, saying Jennifer was devastated. Her sister messaged me asking if we could meet just to talk. My own family was shocked but supportive. They always liked Jennifer, but they knew me well enough to see I wasn't someone who acted out of impulse. Jennifer showed up at my office 3 days later. I asked security not to let her up, but she waited outside until I left. She looked exhausted. Puffy eyes, makeup smeared like she hadn't slept. But even then, I couldn't bring myself to care. I made a mistake, she said, the moment I stepped out the door. I wasn't thinking, I was drunk. They were stupid jokes, Mike. No, I said calmly. They were honest jokes, and that's the part you can't undo. She tried to defend herself, said the shirts weren't her idea, that she didn't know what Cassie and the others had planned, that she never meant any of it. But it didn't matter. She didn't stop them. She didn't speak up when I walked in. She didn't say, I love this man. Don't talk about him like that. She let them laugh. She let me be the joke. Do you really want to throw away everything we've built? She asked quietly, as if she hadn't already done exactly that. I'm not throwing anything away, I said. I'm walking away from someone who never saw me as an equal, who was willing to marry someone she didn't respect. That was the last time we spoke, in person. Cassie later posted a now-deleted story mocking fragile men who can't take a joke. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. Everyone who mattered knew exactly what happened. And the rest. They were never on my side to begin with. It's been 3 months since I walked out on Jennifer. The wedding is officially called off, and I'm in the process of moving out of the apartment we shared. In some ways, I feel lighter. In others, there's a weight I can't shake. An emptiness that I didn't expect to carry with me after walking away from a 6-year relationship. The hardest part isn't the breakup itself. It's the realization that I was never the person I thought I was to her. I've spent so many nights replaying those final moments over and over in my head. What if I had stayed and heard her out? What if I'd asked more questions instead of just walking out? But then I think about everything I know now, everything I didn't see back then, and I know I made the right choice. Jennifer and I were supposed to build a life together, but what she showed me in those last moments was that she didn't respect me. The woman I was about to marry thought it was funny to make a joke out of the man she was with. She thought I was just the safe guy, someone she could settle down with when the real fun was over. I wasn't her equal. I was a backup plan, someone who didn't matter beyond being the person she could rely on when the party was over. That hit me harder than anything else. The day after the breakup, I made a decision. I'm not going to let this define me. I spent the next few weeks focusing on myself, rediscovering who I am outside of the relationship. I started hitting the gym more, picking up old hobbies I had forgotten, reconnecting with friends I hadn't seen in years. It wasn't about forgetting Jennifer, it was about learning how to live for myself again. And while I've had some tough days, nights where I wish things had turned out differently, I'm starting to see the silver lining. I've learned that respect isn't something you should ever have to beg for. I've learned that love isn't about being someone's security blanket, their safe choice. It's about being valued for who you are, not just what you can offer when everything else falls apart. As for Jennifer, I don't know what's going to happen with her, but I don't care anymore. She made her choice. She chose her friends over me, chose comfort over honesty, chose a joke over respect. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just done. Looking back, I'm grateful for the time we shared. I'm grateful for the lessons I learned. But most of all, I'm grateful that I finally saw her for who she really is, because that gave me the clarity to move forward. And that's something I'll never regret.